So most of the time, if the police come to your house, knock on your door, and ask to enter, they're gonna need a warrant. It's a basic constitutional right for all citizens to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures of your property. That being said, there are some exceptions. There's some times when police don't need a warrant to enter your home. The classic one is, let's say that there is somebody running from the police and they run into your backyard and they run through your back door. Well, that's not a situation where the police have to necessarily stop and go get a warrant to enter your house. Those are exigent circumstances. And a few other examples, but there are times when the police can enter your home without a warrant. But the vast majority of the time, you're going to want to ask the police, do you have a warrant? And if they do, let them enter. If they don't, politely refuse to let them into your home. The process for getting a warrant is pretty straightforward. Generally, a police officer is going to go to a local judge or a magistrate and explain why they think they have the right or the need to go into somebody's home. They'll do this through using a probable cause affidavit where they just write out, hey, here's what I think is going on. Here's why I think I need to enter the home. The judge can either approve or disapprove it. If they approve it, then you have a warrant, usually a search warrant, and that'll allow the police officers to come to your house, knock on the door, and enter your home. Again, if the police don't have this search warrant, politely refuse to let them in your home. It's not a complicated process for them to get a search warrant. Make them go through the process. Make sure you ensure that you protect your rights. So if you're pulled over and the police ask to search your vehicle, you're going to want to politely refuse. They have no right to enter your vehicle or to search around or go through all your stuff or go through your backpack that's in the trunk unless they have some sort of probable cause. Most of the time they don't. Most of the time they're just kind of fishing and they're looking for consent because consent is kind of this get out of jail card for them. If they get somebody to consent to a search of the vehicle, it doesn't matter if they act unconstitutional or illegally. Everything is going to be allowed because you consented to the search of your vehicle. So the best advice I can give you is that you're pulled over just for the sake of your time, for the sake of your hassle, for the sake of protecting your rights. Just politely tell the officers, if you don't have a warrant, I'd really prefer that you do not search my vehicle. So a lot of times we'll have clients that they get arrested and they think just because they were arrested that somehow they are automatically guilty when they go to court, and that's just not the case. You've got to remember that we've got two different things. We've got law enforcement and we've got the court system, and these are two different animals. Law enforcement is allowed to arrest people. They're allowed to put handcuffs on you and take you to the local jail based on probable cause. Essentially, it's more likely than not that you committed a crime. That being said, when you get to the court, when you're actually going through the process of the criminal justice system, that standard goes way up. And it's not probable cause anymore. It switches over to beyond a reasonable doubt. That's why we'll have a lot of clients that get arrested and the arrest was fine, but then we get to court and we're able to get their case dismissed or dropped based on the fact that while there was probable cause to arrest, there was certainly not enough evidence to convict somebody beyond a reasonable doubt. So when I was a prosecutor, this is something that really bothered me. What we'll see is that law enforcement has taken a very proactive approach to asking people if they can look through their phones. The issue, of course, is that young people, your phone is your life. It's got your bank transactions, it's got all your photos, it's got all your messaging, it's got your journal, it's got all the private information. So allowing them to go into your phone is this really invasive thing. It's actually more invasive than going and searching your car or going through your home. And so what we've seen is that law enforcement will ask young people, can I look through your phone? Now, a young person might think that the police officer is going to take their phone and then swipe through a couple apps or something like that for a couple minutes. But what actually happens is police take that phone. A lot of times they'll take it back to their vehicle where they've got a machine and they clone the phone. And that means that they are taking everything on that phone and they're creating a file on a computer that they're going to look through later. And so when I was a prosecutor, we would have these PDFs, hundreds and hundreds of pages that were essentially documenting a person's phone. It had every picture, it had every text messages, thing that people thought were deleted were on there. It was an incredible invasion of privacy. And it's all as a consequence of somebody just consenting to the police searching their phone. Searching their phone a lot of times does not mean just glancing through it. What it really means is making a clone, a complete copy of your phone, and then for the next couple days and weeks, just casually going through everything you've got on there. Police have absolutely no right to go through your phone without a search warrant. If you're asked by a police officer, hey, can I look through your phone? Say no. It's really important that we know and we protect our fundamental rights as U.S. citizens. Police officers, they like to rely on consent a lot. They like to rely on the idea that if they just ask, that you, trying to be a nice person, will just allow them to go into your house, search your vehicle, go through your phone, and they have no right to do so. You don't have to be a jerk about it. Just politely tell them. I would prefer that you don't. If you don't have a search warrant, I'm not going to allow you to do this. Again, there is a process for the police to legally go through your phone or legally search your vehicle or legally go through your home. There's no issues with telling the police officers, look, if you want to do that, you've got to follow the correct steps. Go to a judge, get a warrant, and come back. It should not be an issue.